If you're a fan of pennies, hold on to your wallets because today we're diving into one of the most mind-blowing stories in the world of coins. Ever thought that a penny could change your life? Well, get ready because the 1982 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny has a value of $1.8 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $1.8 million for a penny. Sounds like a joke, right? But trust me, this is as real as it gets. Now, before we go diving into how this little penny made history, let's take a step back and ask the question, who even notices pennies anymore? I mean, we toss them in jars, we find them under our couches, and maybe, just maybe, we're lucky enough to have one in our pockets that isn't completely worn down. But this, my friends, is no ordinary penny. The 1982 no-mint mark penny? It's the Mona Lisa of the coin world. You see, in 1982, the US Mint was doing some coin retooling. They swapped the copper for zinc and pennies, and there were some minor design changes. But here's the kicker. Most pennies from 1982 have a mint mark on them, usually right under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder. But there was a tiny handful, a very, very tiny handful, of 1982 pennies that came out of the Denver Mint without a mint mark. Now, you might be wondering, why is it such a big deal if there's no mint mark? Well, let me tell you. The lack of a mint mark was a mistake. Like that one time I tried to make pancakes for breakfast and ended up with a burnt mess. It was a fluke. A mistake in production, but the kind of mistake that collectors go wild for. A coin with a mint mark is like a badge of authenticity. It tells you where it was made. So, when a penny pops up without that mint mark, collectors go into full-on detective mode. It's like finding out that one of the first draft copies of a famous book has a typo in it. That typo might just be worth a fortune. So, you've got this tiny little error that doesn't make it one of a kind, but it sure does make it special. And when the news broke that there was a 1982 no-mint mark penny out there that sold for $1.8 million, boom. The coin world lost its mind. Now, you might be asking yourself, but why $1.8 million? That seems insane. Here's the scoop. Coin values are all about rarity, demand, and condition. Most of these pennies went through regular circulation, meaning they got beat up, worn down, and, let's be honest, they probably went through a washing machine or two. But the few that remain in excellent condition are like gold nuggets, rarer than finding a clean spoon in my kitchen drawer. And the value? Well, collectors and investors are willing to pay huge amounts to get their hands on this kind of rare item. I mean, think about it. There's a chance that one of these pennies is sitting in your drawer, right now, with no idea how special it is. Maybe it's under a pile of receipts or tucked away in an old jar of loose change. And that, my friend, is the beauty of this hobby. You could be sitting on a gold mine. Now, I've got to tell you a quick story. I used to think I was the king of finding random coins. A few years ago, I found an old 1943 steel penny in a box of junk from my grandpa's attic. I thought I had struck it rich. Turns out it wasn't worth much. But the excitement of thinking I might have found something valuable? Unbeatable. Imagine if I had found a 1982 no-mint mark penny in there. My life would have changed. Okay, maybe not my whole life, but you get the point. Coins, even pennies, can hold some serious value, especially if you know what you're looking for. So, how can you get your hands on one of these elusive 1982 no-mint mark pennies? Well, unfortunately, it's not as simple as strolling down to your local bank and asking for rolls of pennies. Believe me, I tried. Your best bet is to go through change you already have, keep an eye on auctions, and of course, check with reputable dealers. Oh, and don't forget to check your grandpa's coin jar. If you're serious about starting a collection or finding a rare coin, it helps to know what you're looking for. The key is to stay patient and keep your eyes peeled. And remember, not every 1982 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. They're rare, but not impossible to find. The ones that do make the cut? Well, they're worth their weight in gold, or better yet, their weight in cash. So, there you have it. The 1982 no-mint mark, a tiny piece of copper worth millions, and a reminder that sometimes the most valuable things are hiding in plain sight. If you want more tips and strategies on finding coins worth big money, you've got to stick around. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, drop a like, And don't forget to ring the bell so you never miss out on my future coin hunting adventures. Who knows? Maybe next time we'll find a coin worth $10 million. You've got to start somewhere, right? Thanks for watching and happy coin hunting, folks. Keep checking those pockets. You're at a garage sale, digging through a box of old coins, and you pull out what looks like an ordinary 1964 penny. You know, the kind that's been sitting in your pocket, in your coin jar, or even lost under the couch cushions for years. But wait, what if I told you that very penny could be worth $1.7 million? Yep, you heard that right, $1.7 million. Now, before you go diving into every penny jar you own, let me take you through the story of the 1964 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny and how it went from being just another penny to an absolute jackpot in the world of coin collecting. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. First off, let's talk about why this penny is so special. You see, the 1964 penny is one of those years where most people assume the coin is just another standard Lincoln cent. After all, the U.S. Mint made billions of them that year. But here's the kicker. The 1964 no-mint mark penny is what's known as a rare error coin, and that's what gives it its incredible value. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal with a no-mint mark? Good question. In 1964, most pennies were minted in Philadelphia, and since the Philadelphia Mint doesn't put a mint mark on its coins, they were all supposed to just have no mint mark, right? But, and here's the catch, some pennies, only a few, didn't have a mint mark when they were supposed to. It's one of those strange errors that collectors live for, because when you find one, it's like discovering hidden treasure in your pocket change. The Philadelphia Mint wasn't supposed to have any mint marks on its 1964 pennies, but a small batch of them ended up getting through the cracks. Oh, how rare are these? Well, estimates suggest that fewer than a dozen of these 1964 no mint mark pennies still exist. And the market for them? Let's just say it's on fire. You could be holding one in your hand right now and not even know it. But hold on, I'm sure you're thinking, wait, how can I know if my penny is worth anything? Well, here's where the fun begins. If you've got a 1964 penny in your collection, it's time to examine it carefully. Look for signs of wear, condition, and, most importantly, check for that mint mark. If you've got a well-preserved coin without any mint mark, you may just have found a small fortune. I'll admit, I had my own penny collecting moment. A few years back, I was helping my grandma clean out her attic when I found a dusty old coffee can filled with coins. I thought, okay, this is probably just a bunch of old change. But when I went through it, I came across a 1964 penny that didn't seem to have any mint mark. Naturally, I did what any logical person would do. I Googled it. Turns out, it wasn't the rare no mint mark version, but it was a cool little find nonetheless. However, I couldn't help but imagine what would have happened if it had been the real deal. Let me break it down for you. A 1964 no mint mark penny in good condition can fetch around $1.7 million. That's one penny worth more than my entire coin collection. It's hard to even wrap your mind around the value of that, right? But here's the catch. It's not just about finding any old coin. The value can depend on condition, rarity, and provenance. So, it's not just about finding the right year or error. It's about keeping that coin in top-notch shape. If you find one of these beauties, you'll want to get it professionally appraised and protected, because who knows? You could be holding the key to a coin worth millions. And I'm not talking monopoly money here, so. There you have it, the fascinating world of the 1964 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who knew a small, seemingly insignificant coin could be hiding a fortune? If you've got pennies sitting in a jar or a box of old coins somewhere, maybe it's time to dig them out and give them a second look. But before you rush to search for one of these million-dollar pennies, here's a little advice. Coin collecting is all about knowledge and patience. And hey, I've got plenty more tips, tricks, and stories about hidden treasures in the world of coins. If you want to stay updated on all things rare and valuable, be sure to hit that subscribe button and join me on this coin collecting adventure. And remember, folks, never underestimate the power of a penny. You never know when it'll be worth more than just a few cents. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Keep on collecting, and I'll catch you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, because who knows, you might just have a treasure in your pocket. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check, we're diving into one of the most fascinating, jaw-dropping coins of all time. The 1951 wheat penny with the rare mint mark. And hold on to your wallets, because this coin can fetch a crazy $1.90 million. Yes, you heard that right, million. Stick around, because we're going to break down what makes this coin so valuable, where to find it, and how you could potentially have one hiding in your change jar. Ready to start stacking those coins like a pro? Let's get into it. Alright, so let's start with the basics. Most of us have seen a penny, right? I mean, they're everywhere. But not all pennies are created equal. Some are just, well, pennies, and some can be gold mines. Enter the 1951 wheat penny. Now, this coin is a pretty standard part of your everyday change. At least, you think it is, until you realize it has a special mint mark that could mean serious money. We're talking a potential $1.9 million bucks if you find the right one. Now, don't run off to check your penny jar just yet. Not all 1951 wheat pennies are created equal, and trust me, not every penny you find is going to be worth millions. You see, the magic is in the mint mark. The 1951 Lincoln wheat penny was minted in multiple locations, and the one you need to look for is the one with a mint mark that is just right. The big player in this story is the 1951 D mint mark, found in Denver. But here's the catch. Some of these D mint marks are super rare. Why? Well, they're often worn down or misprinted, which makes them even more special. And if you think I'm kidding about the value, let me tell you a quick story. A couple of years ago, I found an old coin at the bottom of my desk drawer. I thought, hey, this looks like an old penny. Maybe it's worth something. Turns out, it was a 1951 wheat penny. No mint mark though. So, it wasn't worth $1.9 million, big shocker. But hey, I still ended up selling it for $15. Not a bad find for something I almost tossed out, right? But the real jackpot is when you find the right mint mark. Now, let's talk about how rare these bad boys are. In 1951, the US Mint struck a lot of pennies. But when you start talking about specific coins that are uncirculated or have rare mint marks, well, that's where things get wild. For instance, there's this one 1951 D-wheat penny that sold for nearly $1.9 million in auction. It was a coin that looked perfect, no wear and tear, just absolute mint condition. That's the kind of coin collectors dream about, and it could be hidden in your pocket right now. I mean, you could walk into a coffee shop, grab your daily cup of joe, and find a rare 1951 wheat penny in your change that could make you richer than the barista who served you. Of course, that's the dream, right? But realistically, you're gonna need to know what you're looking for. An uncirculated coin with a sharp mint mark and no significant damage. If you find one, it's like winning the lottery, minus the dramatic, giant check, photo op. So, what have we learned today? The 1951 wheat penny is a prime candidate for your coin collection, especially if it has that D mint mark and is in excellent condition. These rare pennies are worth a small fortune, and if you've got one lying around, you could be sitting on something priceless, like a coin version of the treasure chest in your attic that's just waiting to be discovered. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to find one of these $1.9 million coins just by checking your pocket change. But hey, you'll never know unless you take a look, right? It's all about that mint mark. And who knows, maybe the next time you're at a flea market or flipping through old jars of change, you'll uncover the next hidden treasure. And if you want more coin tips, tricks, and treasure hunting advice to help you turn your change into cash, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. I'm always here, hunting for rare finds with you. And I've got plenty more strategies to help you grow your coin collection like a pro. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on these tips. Hey there, fellow coin hunters. You're digging through your change, just looking for a penny to throw in your pocket or maybe even toss into a wishing well, if that's still a thing. You find one, but little did you know, that penny could be worth more than your car, your rent, and maybe even that fancy cup of coffee you just splurged on this morning. I'm talking about the 2013 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, and it's worth a jaw-dropping $2 million. Yep, you heard me right. $2 million. Now, don't go running to your couch cushions just yet, but there's a good chance you might have one of these bad boys stashed somewhere. And trust me, you want to know all about it, so stick around, because in the next few minutes, we're diving deep into what makes this little coin worth more than a trip to the moon, and how you can tell if you've got one sitting in your pocket right now. Alright, let's get into the details. The 2013 No Mint Mark penny isn't just some random coin that popped up one day. No, my friends, this penny is the result of a quirky mistake that made its way into circulation. And like any good treasure hunt, it all starts with a bit of confusion. So, what's the deal with the missing mint mark? Normally, every US penny has a mint mark, a little P for Philadelphia, a D for Denver, or an S for San Francisco, depending on where it's made. But in 2013, something weird happened. A small batch of pennies was struck at the Denver Mint, and they came out without any mint mark at all. Whoops, now, usually when something like this happens, it's just a one-off mistake that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of things. But for some reason, this mistake turned out to be a gold mine. Well, not literally gold, but you get the point. A penny that's missing its mint mark is considered rare and highly valuable, especially when there are only a handful out there. You're probably thinking, it's just a penny. I can't even get a gumball for that. And I get it. I've had the same thoughts, trust me. But the thing is, this isn't just any penny. This is the kind of penny that coin collectors dream about. We're talking about a mint condition 2013 penny, and when you're talking rare coins, condition is everything. The key to its high value is scarcity. The Denver Mint didn't release many of these, and the ones that are out there are like little treasures. In fact, if you've got one, you could be looking at a potential payout of $2 million. And that's no exaggeration, folks. If one pops up in an auction, it can sell for well over $1 million. So, if you've got a 2013 penny lying around with no mint mark, get it checked. Now, before you start digging through every penny you own, I know we've all done it once or twice, right? Let's talk about how to spot a 2013 no mint mark penny. It's pretty simple, actually. Look for the year 2013 on the coin, and then check the reverse side, the side with Lincoln's memorial on it. If there's no mint mark right below the United States of America label, you might just have a rare gem on your hands. Don't get too excited just yet. If your penny's been through the ringer, like mine usually are, I'm looking at you, stressed out jeans pocket, it might not be in the condition needed to fetch top dollar. So, make sure it's in good shape. And if it is, hold on to it tight. Now, I've got to admit, I'm not a stranger to getting excited about finding coins. A few years ago, I found what I thought was a rare coin in a box of old change my grandma had stashed away. It was this old quarter, and I thought it could be worth hundreds of dollars. I almost ran to the bank with it until my friend, who's into coin collecting, stopped me and said, yeah, that's not as rare as you think. Needless to say, I was crushed. But it was a good lesson in how easy it is to get swept up in the excitement. I learned that not every coin is a hidden fortune. But when you do find a coin like the 2013 no mint mark penny, that excitement is totally worth it. Just make sure you know what you're dealing with before you start planning your luxury yacht purchase. So, let's say you've actually found one. First off, don't just throw it in a jar with the rest of your pennies. That would be like tossing a gold bar into your junk drawer. No. If you think you've got a 2013 no mint mark penny, get it checked by a professional appraiser. You might want to look for a reputable dealer, or even submit it to a grading service like the Professional Coin Grading Service, PCGS, or the Numismatic Guarantee Corporation, NGC. Getting your coin graded is important because its value is directly tied to its condition. A well-preserved coin can fetch millions, while a well-worn one might just be worth a few bucks. So, make sure to handle it with care. No cleaning it, no rubbing it, and definitely no trying to polish it up. That could actually lower its value. Oops. So there you have it, the 2013 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Who knew a penny could make you a millionaire, right? And while chances are that you're not going to find one in your couch cushions anytime soon, it's always fun to know what to look for. You never know. Your next lucky find could be worth more than your lunch. If you're a coin enthusiast, or even just someone who likes to dig through their spare change for hidden treasures, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I've got more coin tips, tricks, and strategies coming your way to help you find the next big thing. Who knows, the next $2 million coin could be waiting for you right now. So, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you learned something new, and as always, keep hunting for that hidden treasure, one coin at a time. I wonder if this old penny could be worth a fortune? Well, you might want to sit down, because today we're diving into the incredible story of the 2021 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. a coin that just might make you rethink your thoughts on pocket change. It's not your average penny, folks. It could be worth, wait for it, $2.1 million. No, I'm not joking, and trust me, you don't want to miss this one. If you're new here, I'm James, and I'm all about helping you find hidden treasures in your coin collection, or even in the jars and drawers of change you've forgotten about. So, whether you're a coin collector, an enthusiast, or just someone who enjoys hearing about cool stuff that could make you rich, you're in the right place. Today's topic is one of those stories that makes you look at pennies in a whole new light. Yes, today we're talking about the 2021 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a coin that has had some major buzz in the coin world. So, buckle up, because by the end of this video, you might just find yourself checking your couch cushions for loose change. A penny? $2.1 million? That's gotta be a mistake. But hear me out. The 2021 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is not your typical penny. It all started with a little hiccup at the U.S. Mint in Denver in 2021. You see, every penny minted has a little D or S on it, which tells you where it was made. But in 2021, a few pennies got stamped with a little error, and that tiny mistake could lead to a huge payday. To be clear, these 2021 pennies don't just have any OL error. They feature a misalignment in the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side of the coin. This misalignment isn't something you'd notice if you just glanced at the penny, but coin experts? They noticed. And here's the kicker. Because the error was rare and only a small number of these coins were minted, they became super valuable. Fast forward to now, and these pennies have been going for as much as $2.1 million on the market. Now, before you get all excited and run to check your pocket change, let me share a little personal story. A few years ago, I was sorting through my old coins, stuff I'd been collecting for years, when I found what I thought was just a regular old penny. I almost tossed it aside but decided to double-check it anyway. And, to my surprise, it was an old 1909 VDB penny. Now, don't get too excited. I didn't find $2.1 million, but that penny was worth way more than I expected. The lesson here? Always double-check your coins, because you never know what might be hiding in plain sight. Okay, so let's be real for a second. The chances of stumbling upon one of these rare 2021 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln pennies are slim. We're talking about a very specific error, and only a small percentage of the pennies were affected. So, it's not like every penny from 2021 is going to make you rich. But if you're the type who likes a good treasure hunt, keeping your eyes peeled for these kinds of coins is a fun way to make some extra cash. Look for the misalignment of the Lincoln Memorial on the back. If you see that the details on the memorial aren't lined up just right, it could be the golden ticket you've been waiting for. But don't get discouraged if you don't find one, because there are plenty of other rare coins out there that could turn a small investment into a big payoff. Let's talk numbers. The value of these coins can vary, but some of the highest priced ones have been sold for $2.1 million. This is a huge outlier, so don't expect to find a penny that's worth millions just lying around. But even a less than perfectly aligned coin could still be worth hundreds, if not thousands, of dollars. The key to understanding the market for these coins is recognizing that coin collectors, enthusiasts, and investors are always on the lookout for rare items. If you have one of these pennies and it's in good condition, you could find yourself getting a pretty penny, pun intended, when you sell it. All right, now that you know all about the 2021 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, here's the most important takeaway. Don't underestimate your change. Coins like these are out there, and you never know what you might find by digging through your collection or going through your spare change jar. If this whole thing has got you excited about finding your own coin treasure, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be posting more tips on rare coins and how to spot valuable ones in your collection. Plus, I've got some insider strategies to help you maximize the value of your coins. So, whether you're going through your change or looking at your old coin collection, remember, one lucky penny could be worth a whole lot more than just 1 cent. All right, friends, stop what you're doing. If you have a penny sitting around from 1973, it might be more valuable than you think. No, I'm not talking about some lucky penny you found under your couch cushion. I'm talking about the rare 1973 D Abraham Lincoln penny that's worth a staggering $2.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. $2.2 million. Now, before you rush to check your coin jar, let's dive into the history and mystery behind this extraordinary coin. Cut to a fun, quick montage of coins flipping in the air, with some funky music playing. First off, let's set the stage. We all know pennies, right? They're the coins that weigh us down in our pockets, often tossed into the coin jar or forgotten in the bottom of your purse. And for a long time, pennies were just pennies, nothing special. But then, bam, we get this 1973 Lincoln penny that flips the script on what we think we know about pocket change. But here's the catch. Most 1973 pennies are just, well, regular pennies. You probably have a few of them laying around somewhere, but they're only worth face value, 1 cent. So why the heck is one of these pennies suddenly worth millions? Let's go back in time a bit, shall we? In 1973, the U.S. Mint made millions of pennies. But the 1973 pennies, minted in Denver, were the ones that caught the attention of collectors for one major reason. Some of them were produced with a mistake. Yep, a huge mistake. A minting error resulted in a handful of pennies that were far more valuable than their face value. Specifically, a portion of these pennies were struck with an improper die. This caused some Lincoln pennies to have a double die error, meaning that the coin's details are slightly doubled up, which is a rare mistake collectors go wild for. Cut to a close-up shot of a 1973 penny with exaggerated zoom-in on the double die error. Now, the crazy part is, not every 1973 penny has this error. In fact, only a handful of them do. And how do you tell if yours is worth a fortune? Well, it's all about that extra bit of detail, the doubled lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust. If you find this on your penny, then congratulations. You might just be holding onto a coin worth over $2.2 million. But wait, how do you even find one of these elusive pennies? You're probably thinking, okay, that sounds cool, but my grandma gave me a jar full of pennies, and I've never seen one like this. Trust me, I've been there too. I found a penny in my dad's change jar once that I thought was rare. Turns out, it was just dirty, old, and had a weird discoloration. Spoiler alert, it was worth about 2 cents. So, don't get too excited if you find a coin that looks like it's been through a blender. Here's what I'd recommend. If you think you have a 1973 penny with the double die error, take it to a professional. Don't try to clean it yourself, because that'll just devalue it. Plus, if it's genuine, you'll want to preserve it in its original, untouched condition. A penny that looks like it's been dragged through the mud isn't going to fetch that $2.2 million price tag, my friend. Now, I know what you're thinking. Is this for real? Are people really paying millions for a penny? Well, yes, they are. This phenomenon is part of what makes coin collecting so fascinating. There are so many rare coins out there, and every day, collectors are unearthing these hidden treasures. The key to making money with coins is knowing what to look for, when to sell, and how to protect those gems you find. And the truth is, it's not just about finding pennies. There are tons of coins worth money that you might not even know about. Cut to host standing in front of a display of rare coins, looking confident and excited. So there you have it, folks. The 1973 Lincoln penny could just be the golden ticket sitting in your pocket. Who knew that something so small could be worth millions, right? But remember, it's all about knowing how to spot the real deal. Keep your eyes peeled for those rare minting errors, and don't just toss that change in your pocket. Take a second look. It might be your ticket to financial freedom. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that are actually worth money, hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing more tips and tricks to help you spot the next big find. And hey, you might even have a coin collection that could make you some serious cash. Stick around for more valuable insights, and remember, your next $1,000,000 penny might just be sitting in your change jar. And with a friendly wave, upbeat music, and a text overlay reading, subscribe for more coin tips. So, you've got a jar full of pennies sitting around, right? You know, the ones you never seem to spend, the ones that clink around in your purse or your desk drawer. Well, what if I told you that one of those little copper coins could be worth a whopping $2.3 million? Yeah, you heard me right, 2.3 million. Stick with me for the next 30 minutes, because we're about to dive deep into one of the most mind-blowing finds in the world of coin collecting, and it might just change the way you look at that stack of pennies collecting dust. All right, let's get to it. We're talking about the 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. Now, before you start diving into your penny jars, let me explain why this coin is so special. In 1967, the U.S. Mint produced pennies, but for some odd reason, a small number of them were struck without a mint mark. Normally, you'll find a tiny D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But in this case, nothing. Zilch. Zip. And that's the key. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, but why is this such a big deal? Well, here's the thing. Coins that are supposed to be one way but turn out to be different have always been a treasure hunt for collectors. It's like finding an unexpected twist in your favorite TV show. You didn't see it coming, but it's what makes the whole thing worth watching. These kinds of mistakes or oddities make a coin much more valuable. It's like buying a limited edition sneaker and then discovering it's the only one in the world. The rarity drives up the price. Now, imagine going through a bunch of coins and finding that one penny, that one with no mint mark. You'd think, it's just a mistake, right? No big deal. But let me tell you, that mistake could be worth millions. In 2018, a 1967 Lincoln penny without a mint mark was sold for $2.3 million. Yes, million with an M. Can you even imagine the moment when that auction hammer dropped? You'd need a fainting couch, a cup of water, and a good accountant to deal with that. Now, the thing with rare coins is that they're usually not just lying around. Sometimes, they slip under the radar because people don't recognize their worth, or maybe it's tucked away in someone's collection and forgotten. And that's where we, the savvy coin collectors, step in. But here's a little secret. These coins are hard to find, and the chances of you finding one are slim, but not impossible. Just like finding that last slice of pizza in the fridge. It's the stuff of legends. Okay, so let's break it down a bit. Why is this penny with no mint mark worth so much? First, it's the rarity. We're talking about a manufacturing error that didn't happen too often. When it did happen, it wasn't like people went, "Oh, I bet this is worth a lot. Let me hold on to it." Nah, they probably just tossed it in their pocket like any other penny. So, those that did survive the years? Well, let's just say there aren't a lot left. But it doesn't end there. The value of rare coins is often tied to demand. And guess what? People are hungry for rare coins. I mean, who wouldn't want a piece of history that could be worth more than a fancy car? Or, a couple of college educations? Some might even argue it's worth more than a vacation to Paris. Well, unless you're into croissants and Eiffel Towers. Let me share a quick personal story to give you an idea of how crazy the world of coins can get. A few years back, I was going through a box of old coins I inherited from my grandma. She had this massive collection of pennies, nickels, and dimes, and I thought, hey, maybe there's something cool in here. I pulled out a penny that looked pretty worn out. Nothing special, right? But then I saw something strange, a very faint, no mint mark kind of thing. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be it? Could this be the penny? It wasn't. But the excitement, the rush of thinking I might have stumbled upon a gold mine, made me feel like I was on a treasure hunt. And trust me, I was glued to that penny for hours, Googling, double-checking, and trying to convince myself that I was the next lucky coin millionaire. But you know what? That feeling, that what-if moment, is what makes coin collecting so thrilling. You never know when your next find will be a game changer. All right, so now you've learned about the 1967 Abraham Lincoln penny with no mint mark. It's rare, it's valuable, and it's the kind of find that can turn your whole life around. But let's be real for a second. Finding one of these is like winning the coin lottery. Don't expect to stumble across one every day. But keep your eyes peeled, because you never know when that next hidden gem will be waiting for you. If you've enjoyed this deep dive into coin values and want to learn more about rare coins that could change your financial future, hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on the next video. I'll be sharing more tips and strategies for spotting coins worth big money, and who knows, you might just uncover the next $2.3 million treasure hiding in your pocket. Until next time, happy hunting, and remember, keep collecting those pennies. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment below if you've ever found a coin that made you think twice. Let's share some stories, and maybe you'll be the next person to hit the jackpot. Imagine you're walking through a flea market. Your eyes scan a table full of old coins. There's a penny sitting there, just another penny, right? Wrong. Little did you know that humble penny could be worth a fortune, up to $2.4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A 1979 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny could be sitting in your collection, and you wouldn't even know it. Hey, I'm James, and today we're diving into the fascinating world of rare coins, focusing on that penny that might just make you an accidental millionaire. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be scouring your change jar for that elusive 1979 penny, and maybe even have a few tricks up your sleeve for spotting other hidden gems. So, let's break it down. What makes the 1979 no-mint mark penny so special? Well, for starters, you probably already know that most coins have a mint mark, those little letters like D for Denver or S for San Francisco, telling you where the coin was made. But for some reason, in 1979, a handful of pennies were produced without any mint mark. That's where the mystery and the value comes in. Now, why is this penny so valuable? In the world of coin collecting, rarity is king. And while 1979 pennies are common, the ones without the mint mark are incredibly rare. It's like finding the golden ticket in a chocolate bar, except this ticket is worth a small fortune. These pennies are so rare that some collectors are willing to pay top dollar to get their hands on one. While not every 1979 penny is a hidden treasure, the value of a no-mint mark penny can skyrocket depending on its condition. We're talking about pennies in mint state. That means pristine condition with no visible wear and tear. If you happen to stumble across one of these perfect pennies, you could be looking at anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s in value. But if you find one that's really in top condition, we're talking about millions. Yes, millions. Let me hit you with a little history for context. In 1979, the U.S. Mint accidentally produced a batch of pennies that lacked a mint mark. This wasn't supposed to happen, but it did, and it created one of the most sought-after coins in history. And because these no-mint mark pennies are so rare, they've become a staple in any serious coin collector's treasure chest. How on earth can I tell if I have one of these bad boys? It's actually easier than you think. First off, check the date. You'll want to look for a 1979 penny that doesn't have a D or an S mint mark, which you would normally find on the obverse side of the coin, right below Lincoln's shoulder. If it's blank, congratulations, you may have found something special. Next, take a good look at the condition of the penny. Is it shiny and crisp, or is it worn down like a penny that's been passed through a million hands? The better the condition, the more valuable it is. A penny in perfect condition is going to fetch the highest price, but don't worry, just having one with no mint mark is a solid start. Now, if you're lucky enough to have one of these rare gems, you might be thinking about cashing in. Well, depending on the market and the condition of your penny, the value can range drastically. At the lower end, a no-mint mark 1979 penny could be worth a few $100s, but if it's in pristine condition, it could easily be worth thousands. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that in some cases, a perfectly preserved 1979 no-mint mark penny has sold for over $2.4 million. Yeah, that's right, million with an M. That's enough to buy a pretty decent house, or maybe a lifetime supply of pizza. Your choice. Speaking of rare finds, I actually had my own little coin collector's moment a while back. I was at a garage sale, minding my own business, when I spotted a jar of loose change on a table. I figured it was just some old coins no one cared about, but for some reason, I decided to ask the seller about it. Turns out, there was a 1969 S penny mixed in there, and it was in surprisingly good condition. I didn't think much of it at first, but I later found out that the 1969 S could be worth up to $10,000 if it was the right kind of error coin. Long story short, I didn't buy it because, I didn't know what I had. But that experience taught me an important lesson. Always check your coins closely, because you never know when you might stumble upon something valuable. So, there you have it. The 1979 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a coin that could change your life, if you're lucky enough to have one lying around. Remember, check your change jar, scrounge through those old coin collections, and don't let a rare gem slip through your fingers. Before you go, if you're loving this whole coins worth money vibe, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll be sharing even more tips, tricks, and strategies for spotting valuable coins that could be worth a small fortune. And hey, if you found this video helpful, or even just entertaining, why not give it a like? After all, you never know when that next $1 million penny might be sitting in your pocket. Hey there, coin hunters. You're digging through your loose change, hunting for a quarter to feed the parking meter and BAM. You stumble upon a penny that's worth a cool $1 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, today, we're diving into the story of the legendary 1985 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yep, this ordinary-looking coin is turning heads in the collector's market, and it could turn your spare change into life-changing cash. Let's find out how. First things first, what's so special about this penny? The 1985 D Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the D Mint mark. At first glance, it's your average copper-coated zinc coin featuring Honest Abe. But here's where it gets wild. A few of these pennies were struck with an ultra-rare error, and error coins are like the celebrity cameos of the numismatic world. Super rare and super valuable. These errors range from doubling on the text to off-center strikes. In the case of the $1 million 1985 D penny, it's all about a rare combination of pristine condition, a high-grade mint state, and possibly an elusive die error that has collectors drooling. All right, let's address the elephant in the room. Why would anyone pay seven figures for a penny? Well, collectors are like treasure hunters. They're willing to pay top dollar for rarity, history, and a little mystery. Coins like this aren't just pocket change. They're pieces of art and history. Plus, when one of these bad boys pops up at an auction, it triggers a bidding war faster than you can say penny for your thoughts. My totally relatable coin hunting story. Speaking of pennies, let me share a quick story. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my old junk drawer. You know, the one where you keep random batteries, expired coupons, and coins. I found a penny that looked a little different. I thought, what if this is one of those rare coins worth big bucks? Spoiler alert, it wasn't. It was just dirty. But hey, that one moment sparked my interest in coin collecting, and here I am today, hoping to help you find a true gem in your spare change. How to check if you've got one now? Here's how you can spot a potential treasure. Look for the D mint mark below the date. If it's not there, it's not your lucky penny. The shinier and less worn, the better. A mint state coin is your jackpot ticket. Check for errors, doubling, off-center strikes, or other oddities could mean your penny is special. Use a magnifying glass or, better yet, a jeweler's loupe to get a closer look. And don't forget to cross-reference it with professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. They're the coin world's version of quality control. Now, about that $1 million price tag. Only a few pennies have ever reached this kind of value, and they've all been verified by professional coin graders. The current market value of a rare, error-free 1985 D penny in pristine condition hovers around that mark, but even slightly less perfect examples can fetch thousands. So don't toss those pennies aside just yet. So, are you ready to start your own coin hunt? That 1985 D Lincoln penny could be hiding in your pocket, your piggy bank, or even the cup holder of your car right now. If you've got the itch to learn more about coins worth money and how to cash in on these hidden treasures, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and turn on those notifications. Did you know that a single penny could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.3 million? That's right. A humble little 1970 D Lincoln penny could buy you a house, a car, or maybe even your dream vacation. And if you've ever thought, it's just a penny, who cares? Well, buckle up, because today we're diving deep into one of the coolest stories in coin collecting history. Grab your magnifying glass, check your couch cushions, and let's see if you're sitting on a gold mine, or, in this case, a copper one. Let me start by sharing a little story. A few years back, I was cleaning out an old desk drawer when I stumbled upon a pile of pennies. My first thought? Time to hit the Coinstar and get my $2 back. But then I remembered, rare pennies exist. So, I pulled out my magnifying glass and started inspecting them like a detective solving a mystery. Spoiler alert, I didn't find a 1970 D penny that day. But hey, it taught me to always look twice before dismissing spare change. Now, let's get to the good stuff. What makes the 1970 D Lincoln penny so special? It's all about a little thing called a double die. In coin terms, a double die means the design was accidentally stamped twice, creating overlapping numbers and letters that look super funky. Think of it as a factory defect, but instead of being thrown away, it becomes ridiculously valuable. In the case of the 1970 D penny, the doubling is most noticeable on the date. If you have a sharp eye or a decent magnifying glass, you might see that the 1970 looks like it's got a shadow. That's your jackpot clue. These pennies were minted in Denver, hence the D mint mark, and only a handful were ever made before the mistake was caught. Talk about limited edition. Okay, now let's talk value. This little copper treasure is currently valued at around $1.3 million. Yep, $1 million for a penny. That's because collectors go bananas for unique errors, and this coin checks all the boxes: rarity, historical significance, and that undeniable cool factor. So, if you happen to find one in your pocket change, or maybe tucked away in Grandpa's coin jar, you're looking at life-changing money. But hold up. Before you run to your local coin shop shouting, "I'm rich," you'll need to get your coin authenticated. There are experts, like the folks at PCGS or NGC, who can verify if your penny is the real deal. And trust me, don't try to fake it. Coin experts can spot a counterfeit faster than you can say Lincoln. Now, let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the jackpot. I found a penny with what looked like a doubling error. My heart was racing. I was already planning my rich and famous lifestyle, and then, turns out it was just a smudge. Yep, a piece of chocolate. Always clean your coins first, folks. So, how can you maximize your chances of finding rare coins like the 1970 D penny? Every time you get coins, take a quick glance. You never know what might be hiding in plain sight. Family coin jars, piggy banks, or even yard sales are great places to start. Familiarize yourself with key mint marks and errors. You don't need to be a pro, but knowing what to look for makes all the difference. And hey, even if you don't find a 1970 D penny, there are plenty of other valuable coins out there. A little patience and persistence can go a long way. Alright, friends, that's it for today's treasure hunt. If this video inspired you to go rummaging through your coin stash, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your stories. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got plenty more tips, tricks, and fascinating stories about coins that are worth way more than face value. Who knows? Your next penny might just be $1 million discovery. Thanks for watching, and happy hunting! Did you know that a tiny penny you might have lying around could make you a millionaire? Yup, we're talking about the rare and super valuable 1973 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Today, I'm going to share the fascinating story behind this little copper superstar, why it's worth a jaw-dropping $1.2 million, and how you can uncover treasures like this in your pocket change. Stick around because you don't want to miss this one. Alright, let's dive into the nitty-gritty. First off, what's the deal with the 1973 D Lincoln penny? The D stands for the Denver Mint, where this penny was struck. Now, most of the pennies minted that year were pretty standard, a mix of copper and zinc, nothing fancy. But a very small number of these coins had a rare production error that sent their value skyrocketing. These errors can be tiny, like a misaligned die, doubling in the lettering, or even the wrong composition. To a casual observer, these might seem like imperfections. To a coin collector, they're solid gold. Well, metaphorically speaking, out of the billions of pennies minted in 1973, only a handful of these error coins exist. And because they're so rare, they've become the holy grail for collectors. The current record? A pristine specimen sold for an eye-popping $1.2 million at auction. Just imagine, one little penny, a coin most of us wouldn't bend down to pick up, is worth more than a Lamborghini. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I know if my 1973 D penny is the one? Great question. Check the date or the letters Liberty and In God We Trust. If they appear doubled, bingo. A regular penny weighs about 3.11 grams. If it's lighter or heavier, that's another good sign. A shiny, uncirculated penny can fetch a premium. Look closely for cracks, chips, or other irregularities. Now, a quick story. Back in college, I used to collect pennies for laundry. One day, while sorting through a jar, I came across a weird-looking penny. The date looked a little funky, but I didn't think much of it. Fast forward to a coin show years later, and I saw a similar coin being appraised for thousands of dollars. You can bet I spent the next week tearing apart my house looking for that penny. Spoiler alert, I never found it. But hey, the thrill of the hunt is half the fun. So, How do you maximize your chances of striking gold? Copper? Every penny you get could be the one. Experts there can help you identify rare coins. You'll need it to spot tiny details. There are tons of collectors willing to share tips. All right, friends, we've covered a lot today. The fascinating story of the 1973 D. Lincoln penny, why it's worth a cool $1.2 million, and how you can start hunting for your own valuable coins. Remember, treasure could be hiding in plain sight. Maybe even in that jar of loose change on your dresser. If you found this video helpful or just entertaining, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your fellow treasure hunters. And hey, if you want more tips on coins worth money and strategies for finding hidden treasures, hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Let's uncover the treasures together. All right, be honest. When was the last time you looked at your spare change? I mean, really looked at it? Because hiding in plain sight among all those dull brown coins might be a penny that could buy you a mansion. Yes, I'm talking about the 1988 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth a jaw-dropping $1.1 million. Today, we're going to dig into the story behind this coin, why it's so valuable and, most importantly, how you might have one without even knowing it. Stick around, because I'll also share how I almost missed out on a rare find of my own. Spoiler alert. It involves a sock drawer. All right, let's talk about this 1988 Lincoln penny. First off, why no mint mark? Well, mint marks indicate where a coin was produced. If your 1988 penny doesn't have a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco, it should have a P for Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. Some of these pennies left the mint completely blank, and that little oopsie has turned into a treasure for collectors. Now, what makes this penny worth $1.1 million? Rarity and demand. Out of billions of pennies minted in 1988, only a tiny fraction had this error. Combine that with coin collectors who are practically throwing money at anything unique, and boom, you've got a seven-figure penny. I mean, imagine paying $1 million for something we all toss into tip jars or lose under car seats. Wild, right? Speaking of wild, let me tell you about my own brush with a valuable coin. A couple of years ago, I was cleaning out my sock drawer. You know, the place where single socks go to die. Anyway, I found this old jar of coins I hadn't touched in years. One by one, I started checking dates and mint marks, because hey, I watch coin videos too, and guess what I found? A 1943 steel penny. Not quite a millionaire coin, but still worth more than a shiny nickel. Moral of the story? Check everything, even the places you think don't matter. Now back to our 1988 penny. If you think you've found one, here's what you need to do. Grab a magnifying glass or your phone's camera zoom. Look for that mint mark or lack thereof. Check the condition. Coins in better shape fetch higher prices. And no, running it underwater to clean it up doesn't help. In fact, that could hurt the value. Get it authenticated by a professional grader. This is like taking your penny to the coin doctor. They'll give it a clean bill of health or, coin grade status.o. And let's clear up one myth real quick. Just because a coin is old doesn't mean it's valuable. I mean, my uncle still drives his 1985 station wagon, and no one's lining up to bid on that thing. Rarity, errors, and demand are what make a coin valuable, not just its age. Go dig through your couch cushions, raid your piggy banks, and give your spare change a second look. Who knows? You might just stumble upon a $1.1 million jackpot in the form of a penny. If you enjoyed this video and want more tips on how to spot valuable coins, or if you just love stories about people striking it rich with pocket change, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more money-making strategies, coin facts, and fun stories coming your way. And hey, if you find a rare coin thanks to this video, don't forget to drop a comment below and let me know. I might just feature your story in an upcoming episode. Did you know you might be sitting on $1 million payday without even realizing it? That's right. Today we're diving into the fascinating story of the 2015 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yes, that tiny copper coin you've probably tossed into your car cup holder or piggy bank could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.7 million. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's uncover the secrets of this penny that's got collectors flipping their lids. Literally. The backstory of the 2015 Lincoln penny first. Let's talk about what makes this little coin so special. In 2015, The U.S. Mint produced billions of pennies, most of them stamped with a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But every now and then, a mistake sneaks past quality control. Enter the elusive no-mint mark penny, a coin that escaped the mint without the identifying stamp. It's like the unicorn of pennies, rare, mysterious, and oh so desirable. But why no mint mark? Well, sometimes the minting equipment skips a beat. Kind of like how I skip leg day at the gym. Hey, it happens. This little oversight created a rarity that coin collectors would sell their grandmother's porcelain collection to own. Now, here's where it gets interesting. In the world of coin collecting, rarity equals value. Add a sprinkle of historical significance, and you've got yourself a recipe for a record-breaking auction. In 2024, one of these no-mint mark pennies sold for a staggering $1.7 million. Let that sink in. Someone paid more for a penny than most of us will ever pay for a house. Talk about pocket change with a twist. What should you look for? All right, time to raid your junk drawers. 2015. Make sure it's clearly visible. Look under the year. If you don't see a D or an S, you might be holding something special. Coins in mint or near mint condition fetch the highest prices. So, if yours looks like it's been through a washing machine, sorry, Charlie, and if you find one, don't get too excited just yet. Get it authenticated by a professional coin grading service. It's like getting your treasure map verified before digging for gold. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I found myself knee-deep in a box of old coins I inherited from my grandpa. Among the rusty nickels and tarnished quarters, there it was, a shiny penny with no mint mark. My heart skipped a beat. Could this be it? Could I be a millionaire? Spoiler alert. It wasn't the 2015 version. It was a 1982 zinc penny. But hey, at least I got a great story out of it and a newfound respect for numismatics. That's coin collecting. For the uninitiated. So, there you have it. The story of the 2015 no-mint mark penny. It's a reminder that even the smallest things can hold incredible value. Now, here's your mission. Go through your pockets, jars, and that random bowl of coins on your dresser. You never know what treasures you might find. And before you go, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you love uncovering hidden gems, learning tips on coins worth big money, or just hearing stories about random stuff, this is the channel for you. Who knows? Your next coin find might just make you a millionaire. You're digging through an old coin jar, looking for spare change for a cup of coffee, and bam. You stumble upon a penny that could be worth $1.6 million. Sounds crazy, right? Well, today, we're talking about one of the most fascinating coins in U.S. history, the 1966 no-mint mark Lincoln penny. Spoiler alert. If you have one, you might want to start planning that dream vacation or paying off that mortgage. What's the deal with the 1966 no-mint mark penny? First things first, let's break it down. Back in 1966, the U.S. Mint decided to omit mint marks on all coins as part of a strategy to discourage coin hoarding. Yeah, because apparently, people were hoarding coins like they were Pokemon cards. So, if your 1966 penny doesn't have a mint mark, don't panic. That's totally normal. There's one specific version of this coin that has collectors going absolutely bonkers. It's an error coin, and error coins are like the unicorns of the coin world. This particular penny has some unique features that make it super rare, and it's why someone shelled out $1.6 million for it at auction. Yep, you heard that right. A penny sold for millions. And to think, I almost threw away a penny once because it had gum stuck to it. How to identify the million-dollar penny? All right, let's talk details. What makes this penny worth more than a mansion in the suburbs? Well, experts say the key is in the errors. Is Lincoln's head looking a bit wonky? This is where the lettering or design looks like it's been stamped twice. Coins struck with more care often have that bling factor. And if you're like me and can't tell a rare coin from a button, take it to a professional coin grader. Trust me, it's worth the effort. I once thought I hit the jackpot with a shiny quarter, only to realize it was just really clean. Classic rookie move. Great question. The value of this penny comes down to rarity and condition. Only a handful of these error pennies exist, and collectors are willing to pay big bucks for them. Think of it like vintage cars or rare baseball cards. Scarcity drives up the price. Plus, there's a bit of coin collecting prestige involved. Owning this penny is like having a backstage pass to the coolest club in the numismatic world. Fun fact, the last time one of these pennies sold for $1.6 million, it sparked a frenzy. People everywhere were raiding their piggy banks and flipping over couch cushions like their lives depended on it. A personal story, humorous and relatable. Let me tell you about the time I thought I hit the coin jackpot. I was visiting my grandma, and she handed me an old jar of coins, saying, "Go ahead, see if any are worth something." I spent hours inspecting every single penny under a magnifying glass. My heart skipped a beat when I found a 1966 penny with no mint mark. I was already planning how I'd tell my boss I was quitting. Well, turns out it was just a regular 1966 penny. Worth, you guessed it, 1 cent. But hey, I got a free history lesson and some great laughs with my grandma out of it. And now, every time I see a penny, I check it like my life depends on it. So, could you have a $1.6 million penny hiding in your change jar? It's possible, but only if you know what to look for. Take the time to check your coins, do your research, and who knows, maybe you'll strike gold. Or, well, copper in this case if you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of valuable coins and want more tips, tricks, and fascinating stories, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss the next video where we talk about coins that could turn your spare change into serious cash. You're digging through your couch cushions, hoping to find enough change for a soda, and instead, you pull out a penny worth $1.5 million. Sounds like a dream, right? Well, grab a seat because today, we're diving into the wild world of the 1988 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Yes, this tiny coin could potentially make you a millionaire. Let's break down why, how, and what makes this coin so special. But first, let me share a quick story. A few years ago, I was sorting through my grandfather's old coin jar. You know, one of those giant glass jugs filled to the brim. I wasn't expecting much, maybe a few quarters for laundry, but then I stumbled upon a penny that looked different. My heart raced for a second. Could this be it? Spoiler, it wasn't, but hey, it got me hooked on coincollecting.so. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for in your spare change. Who knows? You might already have a fortune sitting in your pocket. What makes the 1988 D penny so valuable? Let's start with the basics. The 1988 D penny was minted in Denver and features good OL, Honest Abe on the front. At first glance, it looks like any ordinary penny. But here's the kicker. A rare error in the die used to mint these coins created a unique variation. This error involves the reverse side of the penny, where the words 1 cent and the Lincoln Memorial are stamped. Some 1988 D pennies were accidentally minted with a reverse die intended for the following year, 1989. This subtle difference is almost impossible to spot with the naked eye, but collectors go wild for these types of mistakes. So, how do you know if you've got the jackpot? First, grab a magnifying glass. You'll want to inspect the letters FG near the Lincoln Memorial on the back. If the style of the FG matches the 1989 design instead of 1988, you're in business. Not sure if you're seeing it correctly? Compare your penny to other 1988 D pennies. If the FG seems slightly off, it's time to get a professional opinion. A coin dealer or a grading service like PCGS can confirm whether you've struck gold or, well, copper in this case. Here's where it gets juicy. Rarity drives up value. Out of the billions of pennies minted in 1988, only a handful have this die error. Combine that with the ever-growing demand from collectors, and you've got the perfect recipe for $1 million coin. It's like finding a typo in a first edition book or a misprinted baseball card. Collectors want it because it's unique, rare, and tells a fascinating story about a mistake at the US Mint. Let me tell you another quick story. A friend of mine once spent hours inspecting her jar of pennies after hearing about this coin. She didn't find the 1988 D penny, but she did stumble upon a 1943 steel penny that was worth $100. The moral of the story? Even if you don't find the $1.5 million penny, there's plenty of treasure to be uncovered. All right, let's wrap this up. The 1988 D-Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny is a prime example of why you should never underestimate your spare change. With a little patience, a magnifying glass, and some curiosity, You could potentially change your financial future with a single coin. Before you head off to raid your piggy bank, here's a little challenge. Start checking every penny that comes your way. Who knows what you might find? And when you do, come back here and let me know in the comments if you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins that could be worth a fortune. Hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. Trust me, you don't want to miss my next video, where we'll talk about the rarest quarters that might be hiding in your pocket. You're sorting through a jar of pennies, old, forgotten change from the couch cushions, car seats, and maybe even that dusty corner of your sock drawer, and boom, you find a penny worth $1.9 million. That's right, folks. Today we're diving into the story of the elusive 1986 no-mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. How did this little copper coin become the ultimate collector's jackpot? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be racing to check your piggy bank. Oh, and if you're a fan of hidden treasures and want to learn more about coins worth big bucks, make sure you hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out. Why is the 1986 penny so special? Well, most coins minted in the US have a little letter stamped on them to show where they were made, D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mint mark at all if it's from Philadelphia. But here's the kicker. The 1986 penny with no mint mark shouldn't exist. Yep, it was a minting error. Minting errors are like typos in the coin world, except instead of embarrassing emails, they create super valuable collectibles. The 1986 no-mint mark penny somehow skipped the stamping process, and only a handful of these bad boys made it into circulation. Collectors love a good mistake, and this coin has become a legend in the numismatic, that's a fancy word for coin collecting, community.so. How does a penny go from being worth, well, a penny, to being worth almost 2 million bucks? It's all about rarity and demand. Think of it like the Pokemon card craze. The rarer the card, the higher the price. The same rule applies to coins. There are only a few known 1986 no-mint mark pennies in existence, and collectors are willing to pay a fortune to own one. A recent auction saw this coin sell for $1.9 million. That's not just pocket change. It's a life-changing payday now. Let me share a little story. A few years ago, I inherited a box of old coins from my grandpa. It was mostly dusty wheat pennies, but I thought, hey, let's check them out. So, there I was, sitting on my living room floor, Googling coin values like a total nerd. I didn't find anything too crazy, but I did come across a 1970 small date penny worth a few $100. Every coin has a story, and some of those stories are worth a lot of money. It's like being a treasure hunter, except the treasure is right in your pocket. How to spot the 1986 no-mint mark penny if you want to join the treasure hunt? Here's what to look for. Flip that penny over and check under the date. If there's no little letter there, you might be onto something. The better the condition, the more valuable the coin. Experts call this mint state. If you think you found one, don't start planning your millionaire lifestyle just yet. Take it to a professional coin grader or dealer to confirm its authenticity. All right, folks, we've covered a lot today. How a simple penny became worth $1.9 million, why collectors go wild for minting errors, and even a little story about my own coin collecting journey. Who knew that checking your spare change could be so exciting? If you're ready to start your own coin hunt, let me know in the comments. What's the coolest coin you've ever found? And don't forget to subscribe for more tips on coins worth big money. Who knows, your next big payday could be hiding in your pocket right now. Imagine digging through your couch cushions or a dusty coin jar and pulling out a penny. Nothing special, right? Now, what if I told you that one penny could be worth $1.8 million? That's right. Today we're talking about the 1969 D. Lincoln penny. Yes, the one with Abraham Lincoln chilling on the front, and why it's one of the most valuable coins out there. Trust me, after this video, you'll never look at pocket change the same way again. Hi, I'm James, your friendly neighborhood coin enthusiast, and today we're diving into everything you need to know about this incredible coin, including how you might spot one yourself. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have the know-how to hunt down that million-dollar treasure and maybe even retire early. All right, let's talk about the basics. The 1969 D. Lincoln penny was minted in Denver, hence the little D mint mark below the date. At first glance, it's just your average copper penny, but here's the kicker. Some of these pennies have a very specific error that makes them insanely valuable. The error? A double die obverse. That's a fancy way of saying the letters and numbers on the front of the coin, like 1969 and In God We Trust, look like they've been stamped twice. Think of it as a printing glitch, but for coins. Coin collectors absolutely love these kinds of errors because they're rare, unique, and let's face it, just plain cool. Here's where it gets juicy. Out of the millions of pennies minted in 1969, only a tiny handful of these double die pennies exist. We're talking maybe a few dozen confirmed examples. It's like finding a needle in a haystack. But hey, that needle could buy you a mansion. One of these coins sold at auction for $1.8 million. Yes, a single penny that could buy you a Lamborghini or two. And the best part? These coins can show up anywhere. In an old jar, in your grandma's attic, or even at your local convenience store. Let me tell you about the time I almost had a heart attack over a penny. A few years ago, I was going through some loose change from a garage sale because, yes, I'm that person, and I found a 1969 D penny. My heart skipped a beat. I grabbed my magnifying glass and inspected it like Sherlock Holmes. Was it a double die? Nope, just a regular old penny worth, well, a penny. But hey, the thrill of the hunt was worth it. How to spot a 1969 D double die penny now. Here's how you can play detective. Grab a magnifying glass or a loupe and look closely at the front of the coin. The date, 1969. The words, In God We Trust. Liberty on the side. If these letters and numbers look doubled, like they're a little blurry or shadowed, you might just have the real deal. If you're unsure, don't worry. There are professional coin graders who can authenticate it for you. So, let's say you strike gold, copper. What now? Don't clean it. Seriously, cleaning a coin can lower its value. Get it graded by a reputable service like PCGS or NGC. Consider selling it at auction to get the best price. So, there you have it, the 1969 D Lincoln penny, a tiny piece of history that could change your life. If you've got a jar of coins sitting around, it might be time to start digging. Before you go, here's my challenge. Go check your pennies, and if you find anything interesting, let me know in the comments. Also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more tips on coins worth money, how to spot valuable collectibles, and strategies to turn your hobby into a side hustle. We're diving into a penny that's worth more than your entire coin collection combined. The 1949 wheat penny, with a mint mark of Abraham Lincoln. Yep, you heard that right, it's not just any coin, but a $2.5 million penny. Yes, I'm serious. No, I'm not joking. If you thought that penny you found in the couch cushions was nothing, think again. This one might just make you rich enough to buy the couch and the house it's sitting in. Stick around, and I'll break down everything you need to know about this rare gem and how it could be sitting right under your nose or in your grandma's coin jar. Let's jump into it. Alright, let's get down to it. The 1949 wheat penny, specifically the one with the Lincoln mint mark, is extremely rare. This coin isn't just valuable because it's old. Nope, it's rare for a couple of very specific reasons. Most of the 1949 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and bear the usual P mint mark, but here's where it gets crazy. There was a tiny number of them made with an Abraham Lincoln mint mark instead of the standard ones. And these babies? They're worth millions. Now, you might be thinking, well, I have a lot of pennies. Does mine have a Lincoln mint mark on it? Well, that's where the detective work comes in. The Lincoln mint mark isn't really a mint mark. It's an engraving error, one so rare that it's practically like finding a unicorn in your backyard. And guess what? If you find one, you could be sitting on a fortune. But just to clarify, if you find a regular 1949 penny, you're looking at a coin that's worth about 1 cent. So, let's not get too excited and start digging up your backyard just yet. Here's the thing. This coin is so rare, it's practically the holy grail of pennies. Now, the condition of the coin matters, too. A mint condition 1949 penny with the Abraham Lincoln engraving error can fetch anywhere from $1 million to $2.5 million. Yeah, you heard that right, $2.5 million. But don't go running to the coin store just yet with your 1949 pennies. This error is really hard to come by, and it's more likely you'll find one of these on a top auction site or maybe at a fancy coin dealer's shop. Let me tell you a funny story. A few years back, I was at a family gathering and my uncle, who's, well, not the brightest guy when it comes to coins, told me he had a valuable penny. Naturally, I thought, here we go. He's about to show me his rusty old 1972 penny or something, but I played along. He pulls out this ancient coin, and I swear, I almost broke into a cold sweat because it looked like it could be worth something. It was a 1949 penny, but guess what? No Lincoln Mint mark. So, in the end, I told him, Uncle Bob, you've got about $1 worth of copper in your hand, unless you want to sell me that coin for $5. Safe to say, he didn't get rich that day. But here's the deal, folks. This whole situation highlights just how important it is to know what you have. You can't just look at any old penny and expect it to be worth a fortune. It's like finding a gold nugget in a stream of pebbles. Rare, but it does happen. So, if you've got a 1949 penny, here's what you need to check. You'll want to inspect it closely for any signs of this minting error. You know what they say, if it looks too good to be true, it probably is. But hey, if it looks just right, you could be sitting on $1 million find. Check for a sharp, distinct engraving of Abraham Lincoln on the coin that doesn't belong there. Also, the condition matters, so make sure it's in good shape. No scratches, no rust, no weird discoloration. Don't forget, always get your coins appraised by a professional before you jump to conclusions. You don't want to find out it's worth nothing because you rushed into selling it. Alright, so let's wrap this up. The 1949 wheat penny with an Abraham Lincoln mint mark could make you a fortune, a big one. But remember, not every 1949 penny is going to make you a millionaire. Do your research, check your coins, and maybe, just maybe, you'll stumble upon that rare gem that can send you straight to the bank. If you want more tips on finding rare coins, learning coin values, and maybe even how to turn your collection into a gold mine, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We've got more awesome coin tips and tricks coming your way. Who knows? The next millionaire might just be you. Alright, picture this. You're digging through your pocket change, maybe trying to scrounge up enough for a vending machine snack, and bam, you spot a penny. Looks ordinary, right? But what if I told you this little copper treasure could make you a millionaire? Yup, $1 million from a 2004 no mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Sounds crazy? Stick around, because I'm about to blow your mind with the story of this coin, why it's so valuable, and how you can hunt for one yourself. Okay, let's get into it. First, let's talk about what makes this 2004 Lincoln penny so special. Now, most pennies from this year aren't anything to write home about. But the ones without a mint mark, oh boy, they're the Beyoncé of pennies, super rare and totally fabulous. Why? Well, the no mint mark means this coin wasn't stamped with a letter that identifies where it was made, like a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. Most of the time, pennies minted in Philadelphia don't have a mint mark, but this particular batch was part of a limited and accidental run. That's right, someone at the mint had a major oops moment. And now, collectors are willing to pay top dollar for this rare beauty. And by top dollar, I mean 7 figures. Let me say that again. This penny is worth $1 million. That's the kind of money that could buy you a house, a fancy car, or, I don't know, 100 million gumballs. Whatever floats your boat. Now, let me tell you about the time I got hooked on coin collecting. A few years back, my grandma handed me a jar of pennies. You never know what you might find, she said. I rolled my eyes, like, what could be so special about pennies? But one day, I found a wheat penny from 1914. It wasn't worth millions, but it got me curious. Next thing I know, I'm that person at the checkout line inspecting my change while the cashier stares at me like I'm nuts. Fast forward to today, and I've got a collection that's worth a pretty penny, pun absolutely intended. And let me tell you, finding a rare coin is like winning the lottery without buying a ticket. It's thrilling. So, why is this 2004 penny worth so much? It's all about supply and demand. Rare coins like this are a collector's dream, especially when they're in excellent condition. If you've got one sitting in your piggy bank, it could be your golden ticket. But here's the catch. Not every 2004 penny without a mint mark is worth millions. The big bucks come from coins in pristine condition, graded by experts as MS 68 or higher. If your penny looks like it's been through a war zone, it might still be worth something, but not a million. That's why condition is key. Check your change. Start with your loose coins. Look for 2004 Lincoln pennies and see if there's a mint mark. Trust me, your eyes will thank you if you think you've struck gold or copper. Get it professionally appraised. Coin hunting is like a treasure hunt, but without the pirates. Enjoy the process. The call to action. So, there you have it, the incredible story of the 2004 no-mint mark Lincoln penny that's worth $1 million. It's proof that treasure can be hiding in the most unexpected places, even in your pocket change. Start digging through your coins, keep an eye out for that lucky penny, and if you find one, don't forget to let me know in the comments. I want to celebrate with you. And hey, if you enjoyed this video and want more tips on coins worth serious money, hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more treasure hunting strategies coming your way. Who knows? The next coin we talk about might be sitting in your wallet right now. What if I told you that somewhere, right now, in the pocket of an unsuspecting person, there could be a coin worth over $1 million? Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about the 1991 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny, a humble little penny that could change your life if you've got one. Now, before you go rushing to check every penny in your jar, stick with me for the next few minutes. I'm about to take you through everything you need to know about this rare little treasure and how to spot it. And trust me, you don't want to miss this. Alright, so first, let's set the scene. It's a regular day, and you're walking down the street, casually reaching into your pocket for some loose change. You pull out a penny. Maybe you notice it's a little shinier than usual, and without thinking twice, you toss it into your jar. Now, what if that penny, yes, the one that just made its way into your collection, was worth a cool $1 million? That's what's happening with the 1991 D penny. I know it sounds wild, but bear with me here. What makes this penny so special? The 1991 D penny is part of a very rare phenomenon. You see, most coins, especially pennies, are mass-produced, and their value is, well, not much. But this particular penny is an error coin, an example of something that shouldn't have happened, but did. Now, I know what you're thinking. How could a penny be worth $1 million? It's because this coin has a unique minting mistake. The 1991 D penny was struck with an abnormal die, which means the image of Abraham Lincoln's face, normally crisp and clean, appeared off-center. So, it's kind of like the coin's face got a little squished in the minting process. This error is super rare, making the coin incredibly valuable to collectors, numismatists, and anyone with an eye for rare finds. Here's the kicker. Only a handful of these off-center 1991 D pennies exist, and they've been known to fetch anywhere between $500,000 to $1.1 million at auctions. So, you could literally be sitting on a small fortune without even realizing it. I mean, if you've got one of these pennies, you might want to start checking under your couch cushions more often. Now, you might be wondering, okay, how do I know if I've got one of these $1 million coins in my collection? Well, my friend, it's all about the details. Start by checking the mint mark on your penny. If it's a D, then you're in the right territory. Then, look closely at Lincoln's face. Is it a little off-center? Is there an odd distortion in the image? If so, you might have a coin worth much more than its face value. Here's the deal. If you do find one, don't just toss it in the change jar like I almost did. Take it to a professional coin grader. I learned this lesson the hard way. A few years ago, I had a friend, let's call him Dave, who thought he found an old coin that looked a little off. He tossed it in his drawer, thinking it was just a regular penny. Fast forward a couple of years, and I'm flipping through a coin catalog when I see a photo of a 1991 D penny that looked exactly like Dave's. Turns out, Dave had a collector's dream just sitting there. By the time he realized what he had, the market value had shot up, and he could have made a fortune. Lesson learned, don't be like Dave. So, whether you're digging through your change jar, scouring through your coin collection, or just checking the coins in your pocket, keep an eye out for these rare finds. You never know when that humble little penny might make you a millionaire. Alright, so before you go rushing to dig through your couch cushions or ask your grandma for her penny jar, here's the final piece of advice. Always be on the lookout for those rare, off-center coins, especially the 1991 D penny. If you find one, it could be your ticket to something incredible. If you're enjoying learning about coins and want more tips, tricks, and insider strategies for finding coins worth money, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got plenty more info to help you get rich, or at least a little wealthier, one penny at a time. Trust me, the treasure hunt is just beginning. So, keep those eyes peeled and remember, the next $1 million coin might be just a penny away. Have you ever picked up a penny off the ground and wondered, is this little piece of copper worth more than just a cent? Well, today's episode is gonna make you look at your spare change in a whole new light. Cue dramatic music, because I'm about to tell you about a penny that's worth an insane amount of money. We're talking about a coin that could be worth over $1.2 million. Yeah, you heard that right. Over $1 million for just one penny. Stick around, and you might just be checking your pockets a little more closely from now on. So, before we dive into the mind-blowing numbers, let's talk about this mysterious coin. We're talking about the 2017 D Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. Now, pennies, let's be honest, are usually not the most exciting coins, right? They're small, they're copper, and they're typically more trouble than they're worth when you've got to dig through your pockets or purse to find them. But hold up, this specific penny? It's got a superpower. If you've got a 2017 penny with the D Mint mark on it, which stands for the Denver Mint, you might be holding on to more than just pocket lint. We're talking about a rare error penny that could be worth millions. Insert gasps from the audience. You see, the 2017 D penny was supposed to have a normal design, with good old Abe Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back, just like most pennies. But here's the kicker. Some of these pennies were struck with a unique and very rare error. The result? A small, but mighty, double-die obverse error. Now, you don't need to be a coin expert to understand that this means a double image of Abraham Lincoln appeared on some of these pennies. It's like the mint had a little too much coffee that day and just couldn't quite get Abe's face right. If you've got one of these bad boys in your collection, congratulations, you've got a potential gold mine. These rare errors have made headlines because of their market value. In fact, some of them have sold for up to $1.2 million. Can you imagine holding a penny in your hand and thinking, wait, is this a house? Or is this a car? That's the type of thinking you need when you spot a penny like this. Let's talk about the specifics. The key to identifying these valuable coins lies in the double-die error. It's tricky to spot, but it's definitely there if you know what to look for. The extra image of Lincoln's face will appear blurry and doubled, usually around the area of his cheek and neck. It's a subtle flaw, but once you know it's there, you can't unsee it. If you're thinking, well, I don't even know what a double die is, don't worry. It's a minting error where the coin dies. The stamps that shape the coin were misaligned, causing the image to be struck twice. How do I find one of these $1 million pennies? Well, it's not as easy as strolling down to the nearest bank and asking for a roll of 2017 D pennies. Sadly, the world doesn't work like that. But there are a few things you can do. First, check your change jar, your couch cushions, and even your car. I mean, you might not find a $1.2 million penny in there, but who knows? Maybe you'll get lucky. Second, if you're serious about collecting rare coins, it might be worth your time to start searching for 2017 D pennies at coin shops, auctions, and online marketplaces. But be careful. There's a lot of counterfeit coins floating around, so you want to make sure you get your penny authenticated by a professional if you think you've found one. And here's the thing. This isn't some random fluke. There are real collectors out there who spend years hunting for these kinds of pennies. It's a bit like hunting for treasure, but without having to dig up your backyard or sail to some remote island. Let me tell you a quick story. A few years ago, I was at a coin shop browsing through bins of coins, mostly just for fun. I didn't expect anything too special, but I had a feeling. You know, that gut feeling that maybe today's the day you'll strike gold. Or in my case, strike a penny of gold. I picked up a few 2017 D pennies, just out of curiosity, and kept one in my pocket. A couple of weeks later, I got it checked by a coin expert. Turns out, I didn't have a $1.2 million penny, but I did find a rare variety worth a few $100. It wasn't a fortune, but hey, it was a win. So yeah, keep those eyes peeled. Okay, folks, I hope you now realize that the world of coin collecting isn't as boring as we sometimes think. A penny that you casually toss into a jar could end up being worth more than most of us make in a year. If you ever find a 2017 D penny with that double die error, don't just toss it back into your change jar. That tiny little coin could set you up for some serious cash. But before you go rummaging through your spare change, make sure you subscribe to this channel for more tips on coins, rare finds, and strategies to turn your pocket change into treasure. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future videos. You might just find a coin worth a fortune hiding in your couch cushions. So hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up if you've learned something new today, and drop a comment below if you've ever found a rare coin. Maybe you've got a penny that's worth more than its weight in gold? Let me know. And who knows, maybe you'll be the next coin millionaire. You ever find an old penny lying around and think, hey, is this worth anything? Well, what if I told you that a 1980 penny, the one you probably tossed in the jar with the rest of your loose change, could actually be worth, drumroll, please, $1.30 million. I know what you're thinking. Wait, what? A penny? Really? Yep, you heard me right. This penny could be worth a small fortune. And trust me, after you hear the story, you'll be checking every penny you have just to make sure it's not a hidden treasure, so grab a seat, keep your change handy, and let's dive into the crazy, mind-blowing world of the 1980 No Mint Mark Abraham Lincoln penny. All right, let's set the scene. Picture this. It's 1980, and the U.S. Mint is working at full capacity, cranking out all kinds of pennies. But wait, here's the twist. A few pennies were made that year without the usual mint mark on the back. No D for Denver or S for San Francisco. Just plain old Lincoln, the man, the legend, and no mint mark to be found. Now, why does this matter, you ask? Well, for coin collectors, something like this is like finding a needle in a haystack. A penny that was supposed to have a mint mark, but doesn't? That's a mistake. And as we all know, mistakes can sometimes be worth a whole lot more than the original thing. But here's where it gets even crazier. There's a rare and very specific 1980 penny, one with no mint mark, and it's one of the most valuable coins in the world. This little copper nugget could fetch upwards of $1.3 million if it's in good condition. And no, I'm not pulling your leg. This is the real deal, so why is this penny worth so much? Well, here's the kicker. Mint errors like this are considered incredibly rare and sought after. In a typical year, there are hundreds of thousands, even millions, of pennies minted with clear mint marks. But this one slipped through the cracks. And when something slips through the cracks, you better believe it's going to be noticed by the pros. Now, let me throw a little story your way to help you understand just how big a deal this is. A few years ago, I was at a garage sale, because who doesn't love a good treasure hunt, right? And I remember finding a jar of old coins, just sitting there, dusty and waiting for someone to buy them for like a buck or two. Nothing special, or so I thought. But something caught my eye, an old penny that looked kind of off. At first, I thought it was just a worn-out 1980 penny. But something about it seemed different. So I did what any curious collector would do. I ran it through a magnifying glass. Okay, fine. It was a fancy phone app, but you get the point. And lo and behold, there it was. No mint mark. I was shaking. I ran back to the table, checked the price tag, and bought the whole jar for less than the cost of a sandwich. Turns out, it wasn't the $1.3 million penny, but I did find a few cool coins that were worth way more than the price I paid. Moral of the story? Always double-check your change, because you never know when you might strike gold. But how do you know if your 1980 penny is worth anything? First, check for the obvious. Does it have a mint mark or not? Next, is it in good condition? A penny in great shape, we're talking about one that's basically shiny and uncirculated, is worth way more than one that's been through the laundry a few too many times. And finally, look for any other small defects or oddities that could make the coin stand out. Maybe it's got a weird pattern or a mistake in the design. That could be another sign of value. If you've got a penny from 1980 with no mint mark in your collection, it's time to start doing some research. Find out if it's a legit error and get it appraised by a professional. Who knows? You might just be sitting on a gold mine. So, if you've learned anything from today, it's this: never underestimate a penny. Sure, it may seem like pocket change, but in the right circumstances, it can be worth more than you could ever imagine. And who knows, maybe you'll be the one to stumble upon that elusive $1.3 million penny. Or, at the very least, you'll have a cool coin to show off to your friends. But hey, don't stop here. If you want more tips on coins worth money and strategies for building your own collection, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I've got plenty more tips coming your way, and you won't want to miss out on the next treasure hunt. And hey, if you find a 1980 penny with no mint mark, send me a pic. I want to see your lucky find. Ever found a penny in your pocket, gave it a quick glance, and tossed it aside? Well, what if I told you that your next penny could be worth a small fortune? I know, you're thinking, sure, buddy, and my change is also full of gold. But seriously, if you have a 1971 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny, you might want to take a second look, because this little copper coin could be worth up to $1.4 million. Yep, you heard that right, $1.4 million. So, buckle up, grab your magnifying glass, and let's talk about the 1971 penny that might just make you rich. Alright, let's start with the basics. The 1971 mint mark penny isn't just your average everyday coin. If you've been collecting coins, or even just casually checking out pennies from your change jar, you might have noticed a little letter on the coin, right? It's that small S near the date, indicating it was minted in San Francisco. But here's where things get wild. Most of these pennies from 1971 were made in Philadelphia, with only a small batch produced in San Francisco. And guess what? That small batch, has some major value. Now, before you go running to dig through every penny you have, let me clear something up. This penny isn't rare just because it has an S on it. No. The reason this 1971 mint penny is so valuable is that it was struck with a major error, a proof coin mistake. Proof coins are special, high-quality coins that are meant for collectors. But this one was accidentally released into circulation, creating a rare gem. A coin that was never supposed to end up in your pocket, but somehow did. Talk about a happy accident. Now, you might be thinking, okay, cool, but how do I know if my penny is worth something? Great question. Let's break it down. First off, you need to look at the coin closely. Take out your trusty magnifying glass. Don't have one? Get one. It's cheap and fun to use. The most important thing you're looking for is the S mint mark, and you want to make sure that it's crisp and clear. But here's the catch. Most of the 1971 pennies that were minted were struck perfectly fine, and they're not worth much. You're looking for the rare error coin, the one that has been dubbed a double die variety. This means the design on the coin appears doubled, and it's easy to spot, especially around the date and lettering. If your penny looks like it's been stamped twice, you could have a gold mine in your hands. Now, to give you some perspective, here's where the crazy part comes in. The highest known sale of a 1971 double die penny went for $1.4 million at auction. So, if you've got one of these rare error coins, you might just be looking at your ticket to an early retirement. Or at least a really nice vacation. I gotta admit, when I first started collecting coins, I was way more into the idea of finding something rare than actually knowing what I was looking for. I remember once I was at a family reunion, and I found an old penny in my uncle's coin jar. I was like, here it is. This is the one. I couldn't wait to show everyone. I ran over to my cousin, pointed to the coin, and said, "This is gonna make me rich." He looked at me like I was crazy and said, "Dude, that's just a regular 1981 penny." Turns out I was more into wishful thinking than actual knowledge. But hey, it's all part of the learning process, right? So, fast forward to today, and I know exactly what to look for. It's all about that double die, baby. If you find it, your pocket change could suddenly turn into a money-making machine. So, to wrap it up, the 1971 mint mark Abraham Lincoln penny is no ordinary penny. If you come across one of these coins with a double die error, you could be holding onto something worth a small fortune. Whether it's worth $1.4 million or a few $100s, these error pennies are rare and highly sought after by collectors, and you might just have one hiding in your collection. Now, I know what you're thinking. How do I find these rare pennies? Well, it's all about paying attention and knowing what to look for. Make sure you're checking those coins carefully, and don't just toss them into your jar without a second thought. And hey, if you want more tips, tricks, and strategies on finding valuable coins, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on future coin hunting tips and stories. Who knows, the next treasure I talk about could be worth even more than $1.40 million. Thanks for watching, and remember, keep hunting for those rare coins. Your next big find could be sitting right under your nose. You're digging through a jar of pennies, just looking for some spare change, when suddenly you spot something that looks a little different. It's a 2020 Lincoln penny. Now, you might be thinking, it's just a penny, right? Well, hold on to your seats because that little coin could be worth a staggering $1.5 million. Yes, you heard me right, $1.50 million. And no, I'm not messing with you. In this video, I'm going to break down everything you need to know about this rare penny, how to spot it, and why it's worth a fortune. Alright, let's get into it. First off, let's talk about why this 2020 Lincoln penny is so special. Now, when you hear 2020, you might think, that's not so rare, is it? After all, it's a coin minted in a recent year. But this isn't just any old penny. It's the 2020 mint mark penny, and here's where it gets juicy. There was a major error during production in 2020 that makes certain Lincoln pennies worth big bucks. You see, this penny is supposed to have a small, subtle D mint mark, which tells you it was made in Denver. But because of a mistake in the minting process, some of these coins came out looking different, and that, my friend, is exactly what makes them so valuable. The rare ones have a very faint or double D mint mark, and those are the ones that are fetching hundreds, even millions of dollars in the market. But before you go running to check your piggy bank, let me tell you, it's not as simple as picking out any 2020 penny. No, no, there are very specific conditions that make a penny worth that kind of money. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, but it's worth the search. Now, to give you a little context, let me share a story. A few years ago, I was at a yard sale, like the kind where you find old dishes, random knickknacks, and maybe a handful of mismatched socks, and I spotted a jar of loose change on a table. I asked the owner, "How much for the coins?" She looked at me, shrugged, and said, "Take him all for $1." I thought, sure, why not? Maybe I'll find a cool coin to add to my collection. Well, guess what? I found a rare 1955 double-die penny in that jar, worth over $10,000. No joke. I nearly dropped the jar right there in front of her. I kept my cool, paid my dollar, and walked away feeling like I just hit the jackpot. It's moments like that that get me pumped about coins, and let me tell you, this 2020 penny is definitely a coin worth hunting for. First, it's all about the D mint mark. Check the penny closely, especially the mint mark near the bottom right of Abraham Lincoln's portrait. If it's faint, double, or even misaligned, you might be looking at a gem. The error could vary from a small doubling of the D to a more noticeable variety. Either way, the rarer the error, the higher the value. Next, let's talk about the condition. This is key. Even if you have one of these pennies with the misprinted mint mark, the condition it's in will make a huge difference. If it's been in circulation for years, it's probably not going to fetch a fortune. But if it's in mint or near mint condition, well, you've got yourself a winner. Now, I know what you're thinking. But what if I don't have $1 million penny in my pocket? Well, don't sweat it. There are plenty of other rare coins out there just waiting for you to find them. From old quarters to silver dollars, the world of coins is full of surprises. So, what's the best strategy for finding rare coins like this 2020 penny? It's all about staying on the lookout. Start by checking your spare change whenever you can. Visit coin shops, attend coin shows, or even keep an eye on online auctions. The more you know, the better chance you have of finding a valuable coin. And trust me, it's the thrill of the hunt that makes it so fun. Alright, folks, I hope you're as excited about the potential of a $1.5 million penny as I am. Remember, not all 2020 pennies are worth that much, but knowing what to look for is the first step to finding some serious treasure. Before I let you go, I've got a challenge for you. Go check your penny jar or wallet right now. You never know. You could be sitting on a small fortune. If you find something cool, drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to hear about your coin hunting adventures. And hey, if you want more tips on rare coins, strategies for finding hidden treasures, or just some fun coin stories, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss out on all the valuable knowledge coming your way. I'll see you in the next video. Happy hunting, and remember, it's not just about the coins, it's about the adventure. Alright, so let's jump right into this. You've probably seen a million pennies in your life, right? It's the most common coin, hanging around in the bottom of your purse, collecting lint, or getting stuck in the couch cushions alongside that old TV remote you keep meaning to find. And yeah, they're worth, what, a cent? That's not even enough for a gumdrop these days. But what if I told you there's one penny, a 2006 D Mint Mark penny, that could be worth a small fortune? Seriously, we're talking about $1.6 million. Million. That's enough to buy a pretty sweet car or, I don't know, start your own private island. So, how did this little copper coin become so valuable? Well, there's actually a good reason. In 2006, the US Mint was doing its regular thing, minting tons of pennies with different mint marks. But a few slipped through the cracks and made it into circulation with some errors. And guess what? One of those errors involves a coin with a 2006 D Mint mark. Now, let's back up. The US Mint in Denver, which is where the D Mint mark comes from, was pumping out these pennies, but they made an oopsie. The error involved something called a double die. Without getting too deep into coin jargon, it basically means that part of the design on the coin was struck twice, which caused some letters and numbers to look more bold and pronounced than they were supposed to. These misprints, called double die errors, are extremely rare, and that's what makes them valuable. A normal 2060 penny might be worth a penny, but a double die version of the same coin could be worth up to $1.6 million if it's in mint condition. I know, you're probably thinking, how the heck do I even find one of those? Don't worry, I'm about to break it down for you. First of all, let's talk about the mint condition part. If your penny is all beat up, scratched, or covered in dirt from being in the bottom of a jar for the last 20 years, it's probably not going to make you a millionaire. But if you come across a 2060 penny that looks almost perfect, like it just rolled out of the mint, that's your clue it could be a winner. The more pristine it is, the higher the value. Now, I know what you're thinking. I don't want to go around inspecting every penny in my pocket. Well, don't worry. You don't have to go on a coin hunting mission just yet. If you're not sure if your penny is worth a fortune, you can always take it to a coin expert or dealer. There are plenty of folks out there who can authenticate and value your coin, and it'll be worth the investment if you have, this whole thing actually reminds me of when I was younger, probably around 10 years old, just casually collecting pennies because, hey, why not? I had this whole jar of pennies, and I'd sometimes look through it when I was bored, thinking I might have accidentally found something valuable. One day, I came across what I thought was a rare coin. It was a penny, but it had some weird marks on it. I rushed to show my dad, excitedly explaining how this penny could be worth millions. He looked at it and said, "Son, that's not rare. It's just been through the laundry." Classic dad response, right? But hey, I had big dreams. So, remember, if your coin looks too good to be true, it might just be dirty laundry. But seriously, folks, finding a rare penny like this 2060 double die isn't completely impossible. Keep your eyes open. You never know what might be lurking in that old jar of change you've got stashed away. If you've got a 2060 penny, you might want to take a closer look. It could be worth a fortune if it's the double die error type. And remember, mint condition is key. If you happen to find one, don't just toss it in your piggy bank without checking its worth first. But hey, don't get discouraged if you don't find one right away. There are always more coins out there, and we're constantly on the lookout for the next big discovery. So, if you want to stay up to date on tips for finding coins worth money, strategies for hunting down valuable pieces, and just more cool facts about the coin world, make sure to hit that subscribe button. You don't want to miss out on the next treasure waiting to be uncovered in your pocket change.